Like groups in music don't stick together. It never sticks together. And so to me, I'm just thinking like, could you reach the pinnacle of music success in a group?
Yo. It's your boy Uchay, I got my boy
QDeezy.
We are the ill-advised wise guys.
Check out the full podcast, link below.
Yo. We are the ill-advised wise guys. It's your boy Uchay, I got my boy
QDeezy. Fasheezy. It's way too easy. AKA the Widow's Peak Bandit. AKA Michael Gordon. AKA Mr. Steal Your Spaghetti. AKA Hot Boy Q. Let's go. Let's do it.
I don't endorse any of those except for your government.
What do you mean?
Your
We
government
talking about
name.
Hot Boy Q? It's a Hot Boy Q. You know, it's a Hot Boy Summer. It's a Hot Boy Q.
I can't do it, man. I can't
Yeah,
rock
I got
with it.
spandex on right now. What
But
you
I
mean?
respect it.
Okay.
Oh yeah, you tripping? Wait, whoa! I didn't need to know all that.
Hey, you want to see my
You have-
spandex?
you have what?
Look,
You
man,
have
I got
what on?
spandex.
What the hell are you doing with spandex
I got
on your fucking
Spanx.
body? Yo, this guy. Yo, you out of control, man. Listen, this is episode 128.
128.
Shout out to the gang. Shout out to the Wise Gang for pulling up on us. We rock with y'all heavy. Obviously, you know, keep showing us love. We're going to keep showing y'all the love right back. You know, special shout out to pretty much everybody who checked out that last episode of ours. You know, we were in New York City. Y'all seem to really like the conversations we brought to the table. So shout out to all of y'all who actually, you know, clicked on our clips on YouTube, engaged with us on social media. Blah, 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 blah. Y'all know the spiel. Anyway, you're appreciated. That's what this is about. Now go run me my checks. I'm kidding. All right. Q, you want to say thanks to the people? Is it just me?
What? Why are we? Wait. Why are we thanking them? They should be thanking us for this amazing content that we're putting out here. We have remained the realest.
He said it.
We are the realest on the block. You guys are getting this for free. This is free game.
They're getting it for the low.
Free smoke.
$1 million.
Smoke.
$1 million worth of game ain't got nothing on the type of game we're giving out on this show, bro.
I want no beef with Gilly and Wallow. I want no beef with them.
Who said it was beef?
Hey, Gilly. Man, no.
Who said it was beef? I never said nothing about beef.
Okay, no subs. No subs.
Okay. I apologize. I'm sorry. I'll leave it alone. Anyway, man. Yeah, so like I said, man, shout out to y'all, man. You know, thank you for tuning into this new episode. We got a lot of topics to get into on the show. And before we do, though, man, how you feeling on this beautiful day, Q? How you feeling? You ready? You ready to talk some ish?
Hey. Don't ask me what's in my cup. What's in my cup is in my cup. Don't ask me.
Shout out to Wayne for setting these reporters straight. Do you know that nobody has in the history of life has asked anybody what's in their cup since Wayne said that? Do you know how many times somebody done pulled up to an interview and nobody's asked what's in their cup? Wayne is a pioneer, bro.
You know, it's funny every single time I reference I feel like dying. You know that song?
Of course.
When the drugs are gone, I feel like dying. I use that reference a lot, like especially like for up and coming people that want to be great. I'm like, hey, if you want to be great, understand that what's in your cup is in your cup. I don't know what I'm talking about.
You lost me. Listen, yo. Matter of fact, what the fuck is in your cup? You just went on some type of soliloquy. We may have to really know what's in your cup now because it may be some type of drug that you were not prescribed. That's all I'm saying.
Hey.
That's all I'm saying.
Hey. Ain't nothing wrong with some prune juice. That's it.
Listen. Anyway, look, I asked you how you doing, and you told me don't ask you what's in your cup. So anyway, listen, I'm gonna answer this for myself. I'm feeling all right. You know what I'm saying? It's a beautiful day. You know, one thing I've been doing recently is You know how they call it spring cleaning?
Yeah.
I've been doing what is it, summer or fall cleaning? Like I've been getting rid of shit. Like I've been. You ever had this phase where you just start throwing a lot of stuff away?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You just
so-
want to clean. Yeah.
Right. So in the midst of me throwing all this stuff away, I came across a lot of old CDs, mixed CDs that I burnt back in high school. Like I'm talking about, the whole, throwing 100 songs on a CD. I came across these CDs that didn't have any real names on them, and I'm like, what the hell? I don't have enough patience to know what's on this CD of mine. But yo, listen, shout out to everybody that used to fucking put music and burn music on their CD players, man. That was a novelty, man.
I was definitely I can't say it. Hey, I'm a pull a Dirk. All of this is not real. Everything I'm saying on this podcast is not real.
It's all props.
It's all props. But in middle school, I used to make CDs for people. I used to burn CDs, maybe like $5. That's why we was making money before the game, bruh. We were making money before we entered the game, bruh.
Like, why you sound like
we
you
was doing? Because
why you sound like you from Jamaica, Queens?
Lately, I've been watching a lot of Meek Mill. We was in the streets with the oodles and noodles. We was in the streets. They ain't never taught us nothing. We was just in the streets. Meek Mill always, every other word Meek Mill uses is streets. I went to Walmart and then we went to the streets. We was on the streets.
Another word he uses a lot, and then we gonna get off of this. He be like, yo, my young boys.
My young boys.
Yo, bro, how many young boys he got around him, bro? He said that a lot
man.
over the years, man.
But, they was hungry.
Yo, enough of the Meek Mill appreciation. This is weird appreciation for me.
Meek always talk about, if you don't feed those wolves, how they gonna eat? They gonna eat you in the streets.
Hey, yo, let's get into the church announcements, man. Real talk, real quick. Man. Salute to everybody that just made the Zero Skips playlist. We got some new additions, so shout out to y'all, man. Really, there's some real dope talent out there. So if you guys want to check out indie music from artists that you maybe have never heard of, make sure to hit that description. The link will be in there. Check out Zero Skips, the playlist streaming right now on Spotify. And if you're an artist and you maybe want to get on that list, hit us up, and we'll see if you make the cut. Real quick and simple, man. Also, we might hit the New York streets. We might hit the streets of New York in a few weeks, right? So if you guys seem to really enjoy content from us while we was out in that environment, well, you're probably gonna get another dose of that in the near future. So be on the lookout for that. More details to come. Salute to everybody that rocks with us in the streets, all around the country and the world. All right.
Yes, sir. Let me grab the mic for a second and give some announcements. Check us out at ratingsgamemusic.com, aka RGM. See the nice little sticker right there. See the little t-shirt I'm representing. We got, actually, there was no major mainstream album that came out, but there was a few singles that came out this week. There was a single by Offset I really liked, 54321. And then Gucci Mane had a new song with his goons. Check us out. I'm on there. Check me out on Twitter, QDeezy for Sheezy. I changed it again. Check me out on Instagram. I don't know what Instagram is, but just check me out. You'll find me. Just type my name.
Yo, I warned you on 2 episodes ago. Keep on changing that handle of yours, man. I'm pulling up to the streets with the blick. All right,
the feds.
I ain't got time for this, man.
Bruh.
Keep it simple,
Bro, we got to keep the 12. We got to keep the 12 guessing, dog.
All right. You do know it's the same account, right? It's the same account. I just changed the name. Just saying.
It can't be used in court, brother.
All right. You done with your announcements, man?
Yes, I am.
You done?
Yes, I am.
Good. I concur with everything he said about RGM. Y'all make sure to get over there and read some dope reviews from. And you got to point this out, not just you.
Oh,
Q.
yeah.
You're not the only writer, man. We got a staff. So check out some reviews from some of the other writers on the team, you know? So
congratulations, Urena and Maya, for joining the team. We got some new writers on there doing fantastic work already. But yeah, that's true. That's true.
And you know what? While we're at it, let's highlight some other people on the staff, man. Shout out to Cameron Suzanne.
Cameron.
She's joined the team recently, or she's on our production team. She's helping out with a lot of these clips that you guys see and love on our platform. So yeah, we appreciate the work you're doing. You know, keep it going.
Sure. And everybody else, Sherry, Evelyn. I mean, it's a huge team. Huge team.
Absolutely. So with that being said, let's get into what we're talking about on this episode. We're gonna talk about, is the radio dead? You know, I get it. You probably are like, what does that even mean? How can a radio die? It's an object. Well, guess what? We're talking about a little bit more beyond that. The people in radio, is the impact of that still relevant in 2022, or is that a thing of the past? Right? And then we're going to get into our groups destined to break up. You know, think about your favorite group throughout history, whether it's a R&B or rap group. You know, the typical evolution of a group is for one or maybe more of the members to dip off and do their own thing. Is that a good thing? Is that natural? You know what I'm saying? We're going to give our thoughts on that. And then, we're going to talk about some album of the year contenders that may not even get mentioned even at the end of the year, but probably should based on the quality of music. You know, I'm sure you guys have been rocking out to some of the music. There's been people out there like Tory Lanez have said that music this year sucks. I just heard DJ Clue come out and say rap is awful nowadays. There's a lot of people critiquing the music or the quality of music of this year and just in general around this time recently. We're going to get into some of the albums that did kind of crack through that have come out so far that should be mentioned by the time this year ends. But first, we're going to talk about, is gangster rap, or has gangster rap, I should say, become a contradiction? You know, it's interesting because we've heard and seen people like 21 Savage come out more recently and tell people to put the guns down in Atlanta. You know, there's been a lot of violence. Y'all need to put the guns down. He's like, I never seen nothing like this before. We've also, we look at 21 Savage as a rapper and say, but doesn't all he do? Isn't he only about gangster rap? Isn't that really his forte? But beyond him, though, has the music become a bit of a show, right? Like, where are we in today's time when it comes to gangster rap, the lyrics, the imagery that's put out, the impact of the music? Is there responsibility for gangster rappers to tell the community to put the guns down, even though their music is all about guns and killing people? Q, what do you have to say about this, man?
Gangster rap. So actually, I'm gonna do my Uno reverse. Remember Uno? They got the Uno,
of course.
Uno out,
of course.
Uno reverse. I'm gonna reverse it right back to you. I'm gonna use that card. What is gangster rap? We were about to get into this conversation earlier, and I purposefully cut you off and changed the subject because I wanted you to explain to me and the people what gangster rap means. Like, what is it? What does it mean? What is it?
Well, I'm glad you think I'm some type of gangster rap scholar or something like that. But
I mean, you're wearing your hat backwards. You got to be. You. I think you got teardrops on your eyes, right? Like, tattooed.
Nah, bro. Anyway, I asked you that question earlier, right? For a reason, because, we throw a lot of terms around as a society, and I don't even think we have a consensus on what certain things even mean. So I'll give you my opinion as to what I think gangster rap actually means. If we go back to the early 90s, the NWA era, the Ice-T's, the Ice Cubes and what a lot of those guys out in the West Coast were doing in the early 90s, with the influx of gangster culture, right? Influencing and coming into the rap game. I think that was kind of where it started, right? The content became more about the lifestyle of a gangbanger, right? And so naturally, if a gangbanger is rapping, he's probably going to talk about some gangbanging stuff. And I think that was the inception of it. I forget the politician out there, very famous politician who had a problem with gangster rap, actually like protested.
Clarence Thomas?
No, bro. No, it was a woman.
Anyway,
you know what I'm talking about? There's a famous senator.
Tupac
There's a famous senator
Dolores.
who literally.
I want to say it's Dolores something.
Yeah, let's get her name. Let's get her name.
Dolores Tucker, something like that.
Okay.
Dolores.
Let's get the.
I believe.
Let's get the full name because I think that was
Dolores
probably,
Tucker. That's her name.
That's her full name.
Tucker was an
Thank
American
you.
politician and civil rights activist. Yeah.
Thank you. So honestly, the pushback of gangster rap started during those times from her. She was probably the loudest to be against it, said it was bad for the community, all the things that people are kind of saying these days in a way, right? But the point is, I think it's where gangster culture meets the rap, right? And I think that is essentially what gangster rap has been and still kind of is. That's my opinion. Do you agree or disagree with that definition?
Somewhat. I'm glad that you brought up the history of gangster rap first, because a lot of people don't know about that history of gangster rap. So you're right. Gangster rap kind of started with NWA, right? With Ice Cube, Ice-T, Dr. Dre. And, it's transformed. It's morphed into something else. But from when it started, gangster rap was supposed to be looked at as rebellious. There's a show I watch on HBO. I actually finished the show, believe it or not. It's called The Anarchist, the Anarchists. And it's about people who just defied government. They moved to Mexico, created their own government and blah, 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 blah. They were anarchies because they're anarchists because they rebelled against what, society was trying to put on them. I think that's what the purpose of gangster rap initially was. It wasn't necessarily we are promoting violence. It was more so we are rebellious. We are not following any rules. We're bending the laws. And slowly but surely it morphed more and more to the streets. Slowly but surely it morphed more and more into violence. And then now it's just gone haywire, where it's, violence against other people and, people getting smoked on and all that stuff. So it's definitely morphed into something completely different. I thought personally, one of my favorite albums of all time, I say if you are a hip hop fan, you have to listen to, is Ice Cube, The Predator. Ice Cube, The Predator, that album it had today was a good day. It had Chickity Check Yourself Before You Rickety Wreck Yourself. It had all that song, but it also had some very politically charged songs. And Ice Cube was a menace. Ice Cube, this ain't the Are We There Yet Ice Cube. This is Ice Cube was over here talking about, endorsing Farrakhan and how white America has taken over and we need to stop them. He was rebellious. And that was looked at as gangster rap at the time. Just defying, because, everybody ties gangsta, the word gangsta these days to fighting, to killing people, to gang related crimes that are very heinous. Gangsta can simply be somebody that's going against the law. The gangster can literally be somebody that's going against the norm. You know what I mean? Or a group of people that are going against the norm. Technically, going back to the 20s with prohibition, the gangsters were just letting people drink alcohol. I mean, now we look at alcohol, everybody drinks alcohol, but back then they were looked at as gangsters because they were going against the, what amendment was that? 21st Amendment? I can't remember what amendment it was. But so I think it's morphed into more of a just violent. And, I understand when people kind of feel turned off by it, in this day and age, for real.
You said a lot, but I will say this though. The 90s was a very pivotal point in rap music, hip hop music, whatever you want to call it, where I do believe even the idea that hip hop is a separate genre from rap, I think that kind of started in the 90s, like honestly, from the gangster rap era because of the content. Yes, Ice Cube and some of them, it was Buck the System, it was NWA, F the Police, right? It was that pushback on society, we're being mistreated. But there were other groups in the 80s and 90s who were doing it in a less offensive way, whether it's the Public Enemies, right? The EPMDs. There was a bunch of dudes back in the day that they didn't necessarily have the same aggressive and violent approach to it, but they had a very similar message. But I do want to fast forward because we talking about the 90s. Where this is coming from for me is recently 21 Savage. He came under a lot of fire, right? Because again, he said a great message, but it may have been the wrong messenger saying something like that, right? Telling people to put guns down is a great message. I don't care who you are. That's a great message. But does it make sense coming from a 21 Savage who musically, you listen to his rap, you see his persona, right? You see how aggressive he is in his music, and all he pushes is nothing but violence. I mean, if we being honest. So now the conversation becomes, is it just music? Like, how do you separate the music from real life? And that's essentially what people like 21 Savage are trying to do. The problem with that, though, is in doing that, now they have to acknowledge that this whole persona that rappers have portrayed over these years is all fake. It's all for entertainment. But if they do that, now it would discredit this whole idea that rappers are real. Oh, they real street dudes and this, that, and the third, right? It'll literally shatter the whole facade. You get what I'm saying? And so I think that's the problem, or the paradigm, or the paradox that we're in right now. Is like, is it just entertainment or is it not? Because you got to pick one. You can't be this gangster rapper, and I'm gonna give you my opinion. You cannot be a gangster rapper talking about nothing but sliding and killing, telling people how many ways you want to kill them. You got 1,000 ways you can kill somebody, and then tell that same person to put the guns down. It don't look good. It doesn't make sense. It don't add up. And I get how it's just entertainment, but damn, bro, is that where we are? We got to entertain people by saying how much you want to kill them. We got a bigger problem, in my opinion. And so that's kind of where I'm at. Do you agree, or you got a difference of opinion on that? What's your stance? What's your stance on the separation of music and someone actually taking a stance that contradicts their songwriting, like what they stand for in music?
Well, we all, are guilty of doing that, contradicting ourselves. Like, that's something that we just naturally do as human beings. I mean, when you talk about, I grew up drinking soda, a lot. But if I saw a little kid here and he's like, yo, I want to drink, I want to be like you, I want to drink, soda, three sodas a day like you used to do when you were younger, I'd be like, nah, like, step away from it. Like, don't do that. Make sure you eat your vegetables, make sure you get A's in your grades, make sure you go to class, knowing damn well I didn't do that all the time. You know what I mean? And if I were to do it again, I probably would do the same again, but I think we could tell other people not to do something and at the same time understand that this is who I am. And I think that's the difference. And that's where I have a little bit of sympathy for rappers, is that that's who they are. They're in their element when they're talking about that stuff. I mean, for us to expect 21 Savage to talk about rainbows and butterflies is far-fetched. That's just not who he is. He has a freaking knife on his head. I get it. But for him, for people in the world to still commit these crimes, to still actually do the act of shooting, I think it's a little, that, okay, like he said he shoot somebody, that doesn't mean you should go do it. You know what I mean? I think you should understand as a consumer that, you know, they're saying what they got to say and they're doing what they got to do for their bottom dollar. As a consumer, you should understand that that's the point. Now, I don't think it's right.
So
it sucks.
Bro, let me ask you.
But
let me ask
it
you
is what it is.
Let me ask you a straightforward question. Let's get down to it, and we gonna move on to the next topic in a few. But like, let's just get down to it. Do rappers, not even just rap? Like, you know what? I'll stick to rap. Because this is really where this only applies. Do rappers have a responsibility to stand behind the music or the stuff they say in music?
No.
Do they have a responsibility? Yes or no?
No. I think back in the day, we always talk about, like, we like it when our rappers actually do what they say they're going to do in their songs. But like these days, I understand, like, the more than ever, like, you can actually see the persona of these rappers. Like, you see them on social media. They're going on Instagram Live. They're going on Twitter. They're going on tour. You're seeing them on videos. So you know, like, that's not what they're doing all the time. Back in the day, you heard a DMX record, but you never saw an Instagram post from DMX. You don't know what the hell he's doing in between It's Dark and Hell is Hot and his second album. You don't know what the hell he's doing, but these rappers you actually know. You actually see. So when they're talking on these records and songs, you know, I'm just kind of like, you know, it is what you just talking. You just talking until further. I mean, some of them. Mainly the mainstream people are just talking. The music on the streets, I can't vouch for what they doing on the streets because I don't know. But like the mainstream ones, like if 21 Savage is mainstream now, like, you know, at the end of the day, you know, he said it himself. I think now you can just kind of ignore it. Personally,
I think it's. I mean, I hear what you're saying. I do think we give too much credence to these artists, and we give them too much power to make them, like, you know, father figures for these kids that ain't got no father. Like,
yeah.
we give them too much power and influence over people. Now, in the same breath, while we do empower these people way too much, I do think they do influence more than people want to acknowledge. But at the end of the day, I stand on the side of, listen, man, everybody go raise your own kids. It's really that simple. Go raise your own kids. If your child, for example, right, I'll give you a perfect example. Juice WRLD literally said, you know, RIP to Juice WRLD and whatnot. He said in an interview, he started doing drugs because of Future. He said, yo, I literally got into drugs, like, heavy, because I was listening to Future, and, you know, it really influenced me to really become part of that lifestyle and blah, 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 blah. As you can see, music is influential. Do I blame Future for that? No, because, again, my point is everybody should go raise their own kids. It's not up to Future. It's not Future's fault for influencing Juice WRLD to become an addict, right? And it's not just about Juice WRLD, because it could be any kid from any place, right, that listens to his music and says, damn, I want to try that.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say it's I wouldn't say that's fair, you know, because as kids, you know, they don't even want to. A lot of kids don't even want to listen to their parents. You know, a lot of kids don't want to go to school. Like, they listen to what's cool.
If they don't listen to the parents, society will raise the kids, right?
Yeah, society will raise the kids.
And part of society is music.
And musicians do have
culture.
So musicians got to just understand they have blood on their hand. It's a fact of the matter.
Ooh,
they have blood on their hand. Like, you got to. That's something when you sign that music contract. You're going to have blood on you. Somebody's going to do something because of what you said on your music. Like, you have to sign that contract and be okay with that. But, you know, at the same time, I do think that, you know, we are the ones that are championing it. Why aren't Lecrae? Why isn't Lecrae's albums highly anticipated? Lecrae is talking some positivity. But yet, we champion all these other people. So it's the consumer's problem. If they had it their way, all them gangster rappers just do what they're doing. If it wasn't selling, then whatever. It's for the gangsters. But we are the ones that are putting it on the top. So,
well, I mean, 21 Savage even said that. He was like, and that's the last thing I'll say, and then we'll get off this. He even said, look, man, he's like, yo, this is what y'all like. Like, he's like, if I made if I started switching it up and started making Christian music, y'all are not gonna listen.
Yeah.
Y'all are not gonna give a damn. So there's that capitalistic element of this that drives people to say certain things, even though the content can be detrimental.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people got blood on their hands. The labels, the artists, the people putting money behind the image. Like it's a lot of people with blood on their hands. If we want to use that saying,
yeah, and it just is just one of those things that it is what it is because of the influence that musicians have. But next topic is radio dead. What? Wait, hold on. What the hell is a radio? Radio?
Yo,
FM?
I don't know.
You know what's funny?
I don't freaking know.
Have you ever listened to an AM station?
Yeah.
Like I think maybe the Wizards had radio on AM or something like Redskins
on the AM.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. But they had the whole AM. They have a whole area that nobody really listens to. But anyway, so this topic, I know you talked about it. This was kind of your topic, but I know where you're coming from with it. Angela Yee, who just kind of bamboozled people with her tweet talking about Breakfast Club is over as far as we know it. But I did think it was still a big deal. She decided that she's going to move on from the Breakfast Club. She's going to get her own show. Don't worry. I think she's going to be right back in the Breakfast Club in about 2 years. She'll be back.
Wait, you think so?
Yeah.
No way. I don't believe that.
She's coming back. But
okay, continue.
But the Breakfast Club, I feel like, is one of the last real radio shows that the culture cares about. Yeah, we got Steve Harvey show, we got Ricky Smiley show, we have all these shows, but I think the Breakfast Club is always something that's been relevant in the culture, especially these last 2-3 years. So is radio just something that we should just forget about? Wipe it clean from our hands and we just focus on streaming services? Or do you think radio still has a purpose in today's world?
Look, man, well, you asked a couple questions, but I'll start with the last one. Yes, radio to me will always have a purpose in the world because, and when I say always, I mean that very loosely. That I don't really mean that literally because we may legitimately get to a point in society, I could see this, where cars no longer have radios in them. I mean, they took the CD player out of cars. You know what I'm saying? They got Bluetooth connectivity. There may be a day in the near future, I'll say maybe the next 40, 50 years possibly, where even radios are gone. I don't think it'll be immediate. It's going to take a while.
My BMW still has a CD player, and it's 2019.
That's a waste of real estate in that vehicle. That's a problem, right? So my point is this. I think radio will have a purpose for a while. And the reason why I say that is because there's always going to be people who love that nostalgic element. There's always going to be people, your everyday people who work and they commute left and right. Maybe they're on the bus and, they don't have access to other things, right? Whether it's the Spotify's to pay $10 a month, whether it's YouTube Premium, all these different things. So they rely on the free public service that comes their way. So for that reason, radio's going to be here. I don't think it's going anywhere soon. However, this subject or this topic is about the impact of radio, right? Radio, the impact we know has changed completely over the years, especially with the influx of the internet. The internet spawned the whole era of the mixtapes era. It transitioned into you downloading your own music on LimeWire, the Soulja Boy days. Then you got the iPod days, which slowly got people off of the radio again. It made people get in their own way of creating playlists for themselves. Now we're full blown in the streaming era. And we're in the playlisting era, and more in particular. So I think slowly and surely the radio will phase its way out completely in 40 years, probably. But the point is, the impact of a radio show, I believe, is like completely gone. That's like a novelty. Like this is like we've entered the dinosauric age. If you think that the radio show will come in, a new radio show, not the Breakfast Club, will come in, make waves on the radio, transition to the internet and become a mainstay in society. I think that podcasts have completely eliminated that. And furthermore, really what this comes down to is the radio personalities themselves. Like, we all know the Breakfast Club was popping, and they got a name because of how raw and raunchy sometimes the conversations were. Charlemagne, the guy, pushed the envelope, in my opinion. He did a lot of things that he probably would have got canceled for in 2022 back then that made that radio show a big hit. I don't really see a radio personality having that type of impact these days because they're not really pushing the envelope content-wise, conversation-wise. I think that is the real reason. It's because of the limitations of the medium. You got the FCC out here regulating what you can say, things you can't say. You can't even really say sex on the radio. It's a lot of things that you can't do that I think hinder a radio personality and a radio show from being impactful in today's time. That's kind of really how I see it. They're a thing of the past as far as I'm concerned.
Well, it's funny you say that. I want to say something that's kind of off topic, but it's kind of in line with the topic. Bruh. Mm-hmm. I may have my black card revoked once again.
Oh, boy.
I've had it revoked a lot of times. Was Will Smith on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air? Was Will Smith funnier than Martin? Like I was watching. I went on a 30-minute just Will Smith Fresh Prince of Bel-Air funniest moments, and just like watching the show, and I was like, yo, Will Smith legit was hilarious. Like on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
He definitely
I didn't realize how hilarious he was.
He definitely was.
Like Martin obviously was. Martin is freaking Martin. Yeah. And I think Martin's show was funnier overall than Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. But was Will Smith pound for pound just as funny as Martin?
No.
No?
You know how this is how I
I'm
describe
starting to lean towards Will.
Absolutely not.
Because Martin's the GOAT, obviously. Martin's the GOAT.
I'm gonna make this point. I'm gonna make this very clear for you.
And I'll bring it back home after.
All right, good. I'm glad. You veered all, but we digress. This is good though. Will Smith in Fresh Prince was hilarious. Martin in his show was hysterical. There's a difference. There's a difference. When I'm laughing uncontrollably and I'm on the floor dying, that's hysterical laughing. Martin brought that to the table. Will Smith was funny. He was hilarious. I was never dying on the ground laughing at watching Fresh Prince.
Martin's
just me.
Jokes were like, it was just like, I'm not downplaying Martin's jokes. Martin's jokes were a lot more like, that's dumb. That's stupid. Like, and Martin's jokes were like a little harsh, like BDB. Like, it was hilarious. Don't get me wrong.
It's funny as
hell. It's hilarious. Yeah, what you mean?
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
Like, remember how Will Smith's dynamics on the show. Like Will Smith, when he played gay, was freaking hilarious. Like when he plays like freaking when he yells, like his antics were just hilarious to me.
Bro, look at how many characters.
Martin's pretty
look
funny.
How many characters Martin played on the Martin show.
I know.
They were all hilarious.
I know. Hey, Martin, it was funny. It was funny, but it was. But it's like part of it is like as I've gotten. Okay, I say this because as I've gotten older, I think Will Smith's comedy on Fresh Prince has aged better for me than Martin's. Like when I go back and look at Martin now, I'm just like, this is just dumb. Like it's funny. It's dumb funny. You know what I'm saying? Like he's beating up the dog. Like remember when he had the dog, he got in a fight with Michael Jackson. Like back in the day, it was hilarious, as younger. But as I've gotten older, I'm like, this is just dumb. Like this is just stupid. You know what I'm saying?
Look, man,
I mean stupid and a stupid funny. Like it's
let's ask the people. Let's ask the people.
Anyway.
I'm all about asking the people. I'm interested how you're gonna tie this home.
But here's how I'm gonna tie this home. You're gonna think I'm brilliant once I tie it all together.
Okay,
so
we'll see.
What made TV like Martin and Fresh Prince of Bel-Air so great was they knew how to be funny within that FCC guidelines. Like they weren't pushing the limit from curse words. They still looked cool within that FCC guideline. I think radio the problem that radio has is they're still trying to be funny. They're still trying to look cool within those FCC guidelines. And a lot of times people kind of overdo it. You know what I mean? Like sometimes when I listen to the radio, have you noticed that a lot of the radio heads, they just overdo the cool part? Like trying to act cool. Like, hey, what's up, guys? Like, oh man, they tripping, you know, blah, 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 blah. But like, they not really, they think they're connecting with the culture, but they're actually looking like an older person that's trying to connect with the culture. You know what I'm saying? So I think, like you said, the FCC guidelines that are placed on radio will not allow you. But at the same time, people got to figure out, because there was so many back then. There was so many musicians, so many actors that knew how to still be a part of the culture, cool with the culture, without pushing guidelines. Like Will Smith was not a dirty. Will Smith, everything Will Smith did was PG-13 at the max. And he was still looked at as cool. He was still looked at like, yo, I want to be like Will Smith. These days, we don't got that anymore. Like what megastar right now can you say puts out PG-13 content? Even Justin Bieber.
You know who does?
Justin Bieber.
You know who does?
Zendaya. It's probably Zendaya. That's it. And Zendaya does Euphoria, which is
But what do you mean?
rated
Okay,
X.
What do you mean? You mean PG content? So like it shows
Like,
movies and all that?
He
Is that what you mean?
shows movies, music. Who do we look at that's like, wow, this person is really, really cool, even though like they're not pushing the limit when it comes to anything. Not everything they're doing is rated R. It's like PG-13. Like
The only people who come to mind, even though they do some rated R stuff, I would say is like The Rock.
The Rock.
The Rock to me still has like a.
thinking The
He
Rock.
still has that
PG-13.
that PG quality, but
You
he
get
can
what I'm
also
saying?
go out and do some rated R stuff too. But
You know what I'm saying?
people don't look at him like he's too far off from that.
You get what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? That
exactly.
PG-13
I feel like
viewership or whatever.
from a macro level, that's the problem that we have in society right now across the board. Radio, movie, TV is you're not going to pique anybody's interest with PG-13 anymore. And the radio is forced to be PG-13.
I'll say this. While you are 100% right about like the PG-13ness and how people got to be stripped down, that works against the radio, number one. But number two, and more importantly, I think the biggest thing about why the radio, I believe, is dead is because most people these days no longer care for the format of radio. It's the format. It's like, okay, you got a show, somebody's talking for 2 minutes, they're giving you an update on traffic, and then they jump into a song, a top 10 list of songs that
They only play like 5 songs
they
throughout
play
the day.
Like the radio is not about music. Like, and I think people don't care about the fluff anymore, right? And they're just like, bro, just give me the music. It's at my fingertips. I can just go listen to it whenever. I don't need you telling me what y'all favorite top songs are because it's irrelevant. To me, it's the format is no longer desirable for people. And I think that's why people don't really favor it anymore. That's at least another reason.
My God, I will say this to close it out. My God, when the radio was tight, the radio was tight. Like us growing up,
it was like none
us growing up when the radio 99, 95.5, 93.9, when they were popping, like it was legit like dope. Like it was something to listen to.
Tell me you've never, and you may have never done this, but I know you thought about doing this. How many times you heard the radio back in the day, right? And they're like, yo, hey, make sure to call 1-800-726-K107
Oh yeah, to rent some free tickets.
to get your free tickets to such and such. You're like, oh, word. See, most people like me, I always looked at the radio hotline as like gambling. I almost felt like I was doing the lottery.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm not a big lottery ticket type person. Like, I'm not just about to go get me some tickets, even though the Mega Million is $3 billion.
Yeah.
I'm still like, nah, bro. Like, I don't have a chance. But you know how many people faithfully dialed in to try to get tickets? Like, I thought like that essence of radio was dope, and that type of engagement. That to me is gone. Like, now people are doing giveaways on Instagram.
I was gonna say it still happens on the radio. Just people just don't care. Even when people
that-
win stuff these days on the radio, they're just like, oh, word, oh, yeah, ha, 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 ha. Yeah, cool. Yeah. MGK concert, okay. But
You're right, man. Let's move on though, man. I want to know you guys' thoughts though, honestly, because
that was
you
a
know,
good, that
I've
was a
been-
good convo. I liked it.
I think so. I like that. I like that. I want to know what you guys think out there. So hit us in the comments of the video or wherever you can find us.
We need more
Next topic.
PG-13. We need more PG-13 rappers, actors. We need that. We don't got
I'm
it.
a proponent. I'm a
We don't
proponent
got
for
it.
it, man.
Like Fresh
You know,
Prince of
we-
Bel-Air,
every-
Martin was PG and PG-13, and they still was funny. They still were the
Still were
culture.
hilarious.
Still the culture. So we need more of that.
Look at you, man. Look at you, man. You're getting older.
Told you I was going to
You're
tie
getting
it
older.
around, though. Didn't I tie it around
You're getting
nicely,
older.
though?
You're getting
I
older.
tied it
I
around
like
very
what you
nicely.
did there. I
Okay.
like what you did.
Thank you
I ain't
very
gonna
much.
lie.
Thank you very much.
Next, mother effing topic. Are groups destined to break up?
Ooh.
You know, I think you brought this to the table.
Ooh.
You know, at least the topic, and
Up in the whip. Oh.
I'm going to ultimately let you kind of expound on it. But like, I guess for me, when you think of your favorite groups, some groups I know for me come to mind: the New Editions, the Migos, I mean, just there's a bunch of groups that have come out that have seemingly broken up, right, throughout their existence. Is that something that we should expect? Is that the ultimate evolution of a group? Q, what are your ill-advised thoughts?
Thoughts. I told you, dog, like, no more thoughts. Okay. So the main reason I talked about this is because it's been brewing. It's been simmering in the background that Migos are kind of like, they have some conflict going on right now. I mean, I will say their moves have been pretty interesting because, Quavo and Takeoff been dropping singles together. Offset's been dropping singles and being on people's songs by himself. So I thought that was pretty interesting, pretty odd. So I don't know where Migos goes from here. I hope we get Culture 4. But we'll see. But it just made me think, like, doesn't it suck how, like, these people can start out with groups and almost every time it's probably like a 95% rate that they break up. Like, groups in music don't stick together. It never sticks together. And so to me, I'm just thinking, like, could you reach the pinnacle of music success in a group? And I don't think so. And it also, another question I'd like to ask is it possible that it's always been one person holding down the group, but we just don't know it? Like, think about that for a second. Like, was it that Destiny's Child was good as a collective, or was it just Beyonce was really good and the group was just like kind of like save face for the group? Like, was it that Omarion was way better than everybody else, but like the group was there just so they can get, more girls on their team, or I don't know, whatever, pick a flavor for girls? It's interesting because to me, if that's the point, what's the point of groups? What's the point of music groups? If there's always going to be that one person that's way more talented. It was Justin Timberlake. Because think about it. NSYNC. Justin Timberlake. What did everybody else do? Lance went to the moon. Okay. Nobody else had a solo career. Beyonce. Kelly Rowland. I mean, people are going to argue and say Kelly Rowland had a successful solo career. I think that's very arguable. I don't think it was that impressive personally. No knock on Kelly. I love me some Kelly. But Beyonce was clearly like the star of the show. And you could just go down the line. What's interesting, though, is in this case with Migos, if they break up, would it be that this is the first time two people from a group can actually be stars? Like Offset and Quavo? I don't think Takeoff could be a star. No offense to Takeoff. No offense to
Y'all gonna stop hating on my boy Takeoff.
But Quavo and
y'all
Offset?
gonna stop hate. Listen, Y'all are gonna stop hating on my man, okay?
Hey,
That's my
Takeoff
guy.
is a very good.
Stop it.
Takeoff is one of those people that belongs on posse cuts for the rest of his life. Like throw Takeoff on like a posse cut, he's always gonna kill it. But I do think this is one of the first times we're conflicted where I think Offset and Quavo have a very good shot of being very successful solo artists. But it just tells me, in the grand, sorry, just to close it out, in the grand scheme of things, it just tells me, like, what's the point of groups if they're always going to break up, if they're always going to be one person that shines and everybody else does nothing? Like, what's the point of groups in music?
I don't know. Look, here's the thing. You make some good points. You make a lot of good points, actually. I will say this. In a nutshell, I'm not mad at groups. You know why? Because that's human nature. If we have a bunch of like-minded people that enjoy the same thing, why not just do it together, right? And just make music together. Like, that's the reason why collectives happen, whether it's Odd Futures, right? There's so many examples, like-minded people coming together to create some type of content or whatever the case is. Groups are never going to stop. Now, what I believe has kind of it has slowed down though, like the group element it is happened. But I'll say this to go to your point or to your question. You were like, yo, has this happened before? Like where you see multiple people break up from a group, but they both have a chance to become stars, right? It's rare. It's very rare. It's because there's usually one Beyonce of the group. There's usually a Beyonce. I would argue probably the only example is not even in rap or hip hop. Like I'd look at groups like Fifth Harmony, right? I look at groups like Fifth Harmony. I
literally was thinking in my head when I was like, what is he going to say? Like, who is he going to say? And I was like, you know what? Fifth Harmony actually had Normani.
You got exactly. See, you get where I'm going with that. So Camila Cabello is a freaking superstar. You could argue Normani is not yet a superstar. Will she ever become that? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. She's yet to even drop a album. She's never really dropped. She's dropped nothing but singles. But the point is, she has star quality. She has the potential to be something special. She can dance, sing. Believe she writes music as well. She has a chance to become bigger than, let's say, a Kelly Rowland was. You get what I'm saying? As like that second solo person that came out of a group but established their own fan base and people rocking with them. So, that's a different question. I don't know. I think she has the talent to. I think she has all of the skill sets to do it. Will she do it on her own? Will her label, whoever signed to her, allow her or push her in that direction? We shall see, my brother. I don't know.
But it
remains to be seen.
Can I say something?
Go ahead.
Does somebody going solo also hurts the chances of somebody doing that? Like, for instance, Chloe times what's her
Chloe Haley.
Chloe times Haley or whatever what's her name?
How do you say that?
Chloe X Haley, is that your name, right?
But do you just say Chloe Haley, or do you say you have to say the X?
I say Chloe times Haley, but
it ain't times. Chloe times Haley. Maybe that's right. I don't know. Maybe I'm laughing for no reason. That could be right.
No, I think it's Chloe times Haley. But anyway.
Oh, no. Keep going.
I definitely think Chloe, especially right now, Chloe and Haley, whatever you want to say, they were on a pretty good trajectory. Like Beyonce was a part of their team. They were getting like Disney deals. Then Chloe started coming up with these like thirst traps on Instagram, right? And like dropping her own solo cuts. And now what happened?
And they were thirst traps indeed. That's all I'm going to say. Continue.
You sound like Stephen A. Smith. Every single time Stephen A. Smith talks about going to Miami.
L.A.? Talking about Miami and L.A.
Oh, my. Miami does have some stuff. I'm telling you.
Yo, anyway. Chloe with them thirst traps?
Yeah.
That was different.
Hey, listen. Okay? Keep it. But wait. Hey, this is a PG-13 show.
Yeah, but, I ain't say nothing. It's still PG-13. We good.
But yeah, I mean, I do definitely think with her doing what she's doing, it's really hurting Haley because Haley is like still on that PG-13. Like Haley has to completely do a 360. Like she has to decide: do you want to stay PG, Disney, or do you want to like kind of follow in the footsteps of like what Chloe's doing? So I do think it ended up hurting her, and I think, when these people go solo, maybe Kelly needed a little more time to stew. And when Beyonce decided to go solo, it's like maybe, that kind of disrupted things. But it's I think groups sometimes hurt even more. It hurts people. I mean, even Corday, I think Corday leaving the YBN, family hurt Namir and what's his name?
Almighty J.
Almighty J. I think it really hurt them. Like, and he was just somebody they just picked up. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I think it's interesting. It's interesting what groups have become in hip hop and music in general.
It's funny, man. I think of so many groups, man. So many groups that have come and go that have had people break up. And typically, to go back to your earlier question, has there been multiple people from a group to kind of like establish their own career? It's rare, dog.
It's very rare.
You look at, we just talked about Destiny's Child, Kelly Rowland. Okay, she had a slight career, never really reached this mega star level. You look at B2K, Omarion. He was the only one that established a career for himself and reached a certain level among his own self because he was the Beyonce of the group. If the music came out from J Boog, Raz B, and Lil Fizz, maybe they did drop solo projects and whatnot, but I can tell you the masses didn't really care. It never really reached a certain, threshold.
Yeah, they never
correct
became stars.
Same thing with like, Pretty Ricky. I look at Pretty Ricky, right?
None of them became stars.
None of them became stars.
Actually, Pleasure P he's doing this thing a little bit.
He was a star. He was never a superstar. There's a difference, right? So, but again, same thing. Spectacular. I don't even remember the other two. You remember Baby Blue? What was the other one's name?
Baby Blue.
What was the man with the dread, like the Miami dreads, the rapper, the Wild Boy? You know what I'm talking about too.
I can't remember.
But my point is, like, even if they were dropping solo music, again, maybe they did, the masses didn't care enough to become a star. So, like, look, man, groups are inevitable. I think we're never going to stop seeing groups, but I do think we're seeing the slowdown of the groups in music, especially in rap, though. Maybe it's just not profitable at the end of the day. Yeah. And people are just like, I don't need it.
Yeah. I mean, even, and at the same time, I want to give kudos to the Locks. Like, Styles P and Jadakiss. I mean, Styles P probably was not a superstar, but Styles P got respect. Like, people respect Styles P. And Jadakiss obviously is a legend. Sheik, I think
top 5
Sheik,
dead or alive.
Once again, Sheik gets respect from people. But, at the end of the day, I think the Locks, they stick together. They didn't really deviate. They never ended bad. But two people who you can say were legendary and there were groups. You said this earlier, Outkast. I think Big Boy and Andre 3000 have all Hall of Fame careers as solo artists. Maybe Big Boy a little less than Andre, but I would still give him the nod. Big Boy is a star, a superstar, at a certain point, but
it very much is. It is. Let's you want to move on to the next topic?
The next and
last topic.
Album of the year contenders. Oh, this is always fun. What is it? August? Okay, so it's August.
We're past the midpoint.
We are way past the midpoint. So, by the end of the year, December we'll, at RGM Ratings Game Music, we'll figure out what we think the album of the year is. So
y'all better tune in for that one too. That's gonna be a good one.
We're gonna figure out what the best song is, what the best beat is, what the best album is, what the worst song is, etc., etc. But it doesn't hurt to actually start looking at some of the contenders so far this year. So, what are some? Just off the top of your head, what are some of the albums that you think are pretty good albums from this year?
So there's actually a lot. Actually, I believe
the first one
we have some. Go ahead.
I
Who
know
you
the
think?
first one you're gonna say?
Who you
West
think?
Side Boogie. Everybody's
So he was
raving about West Side Boogie's album.
So he was in my list. He wasn't going to be number one. He was going to be the second person I named. I would say Vince Staples to me. Ramona Park broke my heart. I really, really loved that album. I thought that it was cohesive. I thought that this is his best body of work. I thought he finally reached a level in mainstream music. Not that like it matters or anything. He probably didn't need it. I don't even think Vince Staples really cares about mainstream or numbers and all this other stuff. But I think that this is the first time I've ever seen Vince Staples in a household conversation. You know, I feel like there's people who are starting to have conversations about Vince Staples at home. You know, when the people say he's a household name, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people who are not household names. The Sabas, the Denzel Curry, who also, by the way, dropped a great project this year. But so, yeah, Vince Staples, Ramona Park broke my heart, and then West Side Boogie, man. More black superheroes. I think that we've seen the influx of mental health become a very big part of music, you know, especially with rappers. You know, we've seen Kendrick drop his album. A lot of people are talking and addressing mental health on their projects, and I think it's really dope when they do it in a creative way where they can still get the message across, right, but also delivering great music. I thought West Side Boogie was able to do that on More Black Superheroes, and you know, he's one of those names that I don't believe is a household name. It remains to be seen if he ever will be, but I do think the music on that album was great. And then I'm going to round out my top three by giving you guys another genre, because there's been a lot of albums that's came out this year, not rap, not hip hop, not R&B, that I think needs to be highlighted. And first one that I'm gonna mention is Fireboy DML. Playboy, I thought, was a very good album, very, very good album. Now I have become borderline a Fireboy DML apologist, right?
Stan.
Borderline. I'm gonna admit my bias. You know, it's important to do that. But I will say, with even though you may call me biased or whatever the case may be, I do think the music on that album was really, really good, enough to really hold its own and say, even in the Afrobeat genre, I do think it's one of the better ones that have come out this year. We saw the song on the album that he had with Chris Brown and Shenseea called Diana. I thought was really dope.
Chris Brown's performance,
Like one of the best, brother. That's one of the best songs I heard this year. Straight up.
Chris Brown's performance.
It might
on
be top three.
Yeah, Chris Brown's performance was, unbelievable.
Chris Brown set the tone. He did his thing. Fireboy DML did his thing. Shenseea did her thing. You know, like they all did their thing. The song was great. But my point is, I do think that album could be an important proponent and be in the conversation for top couple albums of the year when it's all said and done. So those are my top three right now that I want to even talk about. There's more that have come out, but I do want Q. Give me three.
I'm just going to do three. Yeah, I mean, but
Give me three.
First, I'm going to say this, and I know people are going to get mad at what I'm about to say, but it is what it is. This has been a bad year for albums. This has been a bad year. It's not been good. Like the albums, there's a couple that I can say were like good albums, but for the most part, there is only like two that I think I can have a legit argument about and say like legitimately, oh yeah, for sure, that's the album of the year.
You know,
year.
before you go, I completely agree with you. This year has not been good in music. Like it hasn't been great, I should say. There's been a lot of average projects dropping. You know, if we want to keep it to hip hop, Gunna DS4 is the highest selling hip hop album of the year.
Yeah, I mean,
great album. I would actually say that's one of the better ones as well. It should be mentioned.
It's good, but you know, it's very good. But it's like I every year there was that one that you're like, oh hell
Thank
yeah,
you.
this is the album of the year, like, or you know, hell yeah. But I'll give you three. One, The Weeknd, Dawn FM. That was still one of the albums that came out this year that I think blew me away from a musical standpoint. What he was able to do was just like next level great. I know a lot of people don't like it. It's an acquired taste album, but if you're somebody who's really into the musicality side of music, like you would really, really like that album. And then number 2, I really liked Kodak Black's album. Can't remember the name right now, but I really like it, especially the intro. Let Me Know. Oh man, I thought Kodak Black, he did exactly what I said. When I tell people all the time, I'm like, Kodak Black is actually one of the best young rappers in the game today. And people probably look at you like, you're weird, you're crazy. Go listen to that album and you'll know what I'm talking about. Like the way that he just pieces his words together, the way that, you know, the flows that he raps with, et cetera, I thought were fantastic. But
By the way, the album is called Back for Everything by Kodak Black.
Thank you. Back for Everything.
Yeah, really good album.
I really like that album. But my favorite album of the year by far, and I'm guilty. I slept on it. I did not want to say it was great just because I liked the previous album the person made, but
I already know what you about to say.
You know what I'm about to say.
I already know what you about to say.
Pusha T's album.
Pusha T. I knew
man. I listen to that album often. A lot. Like, bruh, like the production alone, it's Kanye West versus the Neptunes. Like Kanye West production and Neptune's production. And then you get Pusha T's rapping on there, which is just flawless. Like Pusha T, side comment I'm going to make. You know what sucks about some of these hip hop lists that we make? Where would you put Pusha T? Like where does Pusha T fit
list,
in there?
Which list are we talking about?
We talk about
What's
top rappers, let's say top 50 rappers of all time. Where does Pusha T fit on that list? I don't know.
I think Pusha, honestly, I haven't figured it out. I have to think this through. But just off first guess, I'm putting Pusha T in my top 25.
Top 25. Okay.
Probably top 20.
He should be.
Probably.
He should be maybe even top 15, but like,
it's possible.
It's hard to rate
He might
Pusha.
even get elevated. Yeah.
It's hard to rate him. You know what I'm saying? But those are my 3 albums. I think it's called It's Almost Dry. It's funny.
It is. It's Almost Dry.
These damn names, but trust me, I listen to the album all the time. But yeah, those are my 3. But I like I said, I'm very disappointed in this year of music. Like I think
I am
the
too.
underground artists, because we are privy to Submit Hub and stuff. Underground artists are making better music than the mainstream artists.
They doing it. They really are doing it.
100% making better.
You know what's crazy is, that sounds like a crazy statement to people who are not really tapped into the indie and the unsigned world. But this, in terms of bridging the gap between undiscovered talent and people who are world renowned, I'm here to tell you the separation in music quality and everything is dwindling by the year.
Oh,
this joint is borderline equal. It's and I don't think people know that if you're not tapped into that world. I don't think people know.
I was one of those people that was like, man, indie artist or underground artist. Yeah, right. They're not making the type. Nah, like they're making music.
They pushing the envelope.
There's some people I've heard that I'm just like, yo, like this is amazing music. So
I'll say this before we get up out of here. I think it's crazy that Kendrick dropped an album, right? Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, and it's none of us mentioned it. I just have to point that out. And then secondly, before we, I guess, get out of here, what would you say is your sleeper album of the year? Like one that you've listened to, you think it's really good. Maybe the artist is not mainstream. People are not talking about it, but you do think it is worthy of being mentioned in the conversation of better albums that have come out this year. I'll start. Maybe you
go. You start.
While you maybe think on it.
Yeah.
To me, it's easily Denzel Curry's album that he dropped called "Melt My Eyes, See Your Future." Like, I think that, bro, Denzel Curry represents like this underworld of artists. He's not quite mainstream. He's not quite underground. He's like he rests in. He's like right in the middle, where like both sides can appreciate him. And he typically drops music that is of enormous quality that I just never see him mentioned in any type of conversation. But again, if we just judge it off the music, Denzel Curry dropped a phenomenal project this year that y'all need to go tap into ASAP.
You know,
It's called Melt My Eyes, See Your Future. Go check that out right now. I'm telling you.
You know, I could just never get hip to Denzel Curry. I understand he's a phenomenal rapper. I understand all that. But, like, I just can't get hip to his music. I've tried.
That's fair.
But I get it. It's pretty good. I would say somebody that their album just kind of came and went, Shinsia. So I thought Shinsia was going to be like a, female version of Sean Kingston. Like, somebody with a reggae accent that, just makes little bubbly music, but nothing special. Shinsia's album was actually pretty good. I thought she showed an ability, like good music. Everything felt authentic. And then she had like that it factor, Now, I don't hear many people talk about the album. I don't hear songs on the radio. But I thought it was one that was pretty quality. It was pretty good. Yeah.
Okay. Hey, you know what? So same thing you said about Denzel Curry. I'm not big on Shinsia. I'm really not. Like, I think I see her talent, but I haven't really gotten into her. I heard the album, but I'm not really sold on her personally, So, I mean, hey, man.
I think her rollout makes you think she's Rihanna, or her rollout makes you think she's Rihanna or something. But like, she kind of does have her own unique style, but
a bit. Yeah, she definitely does. But yeah, what do you guys think? What are your top couple albums of the year so far? What are some albums that nobody's talking about that they should talk about? Let us know. Get in contact with us. This has been a dope episode. We've reached the end. Pay me my money. Sayonara. Arrivederci.
Oh, what money? The feds listening. Jiggle, what money?
Yes, sir. You guys, make sure to subscribe to the podcast. Make sure to follow us on social media. It'll be in the description. Everything will be in the description. We will see you guys on the next episode, wherever we are recording from. And as always, if you are giving advice, just make sure that mother sucker is ill.
Yes, sir.
Bow.